In this video, we're going to show you how to install the rear upper control arm on your Subaru Legacy located in the rear suspension. Using a thin wall 19mm socket, we're going to go ahead and loosen and remove our lug nuts here. Our particular vehicle has a locking key on it, so we're going to go ahead and remove this. Go ahead and grab that wheel, remove it, and set it aside. Now with the wheel removed, you can go ahead and locate your upper control arm right here, and it bolts to the knuckle up top. Now this is a 17mm nut with a 17mm bolt head. Ours is rusted, so we're going to use a heat inductor tool to go ahead and help us remove this hardware. I'll put a ratchet on the other side here. Now if you are using an inductor tool or any other type of heat source, whatever you do, wait for that hardware to cool off before you grab it. Now if you follow the upper control arm up, it attaches right to the rear cradle here. There's a bolt that runs through horizontally. There's a 17mm nut on the backside. Now there's not a lot of room here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put our box wrench 17mm on that. On the other side, we're gonna use our ratchet. However, we're gonna start with our heat inductor tool, and we wanna try to heat up this bolt, make it a little bit easier to come out. We get that nut loose, remove that. Try and tap this out. Now on the outboard portion of our control arm, I'm going to go ahead and grab a pry bar and go ahead and start to work that control arm out of the knuckle. Just popping that out. With that free, we can actually grab that arm and move this bolt around and get that out and pull the control arm out from the vehicle. Gonna take the new control arm and feed that in a position. Now I did go ahead and grab the bolt and applied some anti-seize compound to it. Let's go ahead and line that up, get that bolt through. I'm going to go ahead and get that nut into position. Not a lot of room for that there, so I'm gonna pretty much hold that nut up into place and then spin that bolt. I need to get that bolt or nut started there. I'm gonna go ahead and run that bolt in on that nut. I'm not going to tighten it. I wanna make sure it's still loose. Okay, still have some flexibility there. Let's go ahead and install the outboard bolt. Let's install the outer end of the link into our knuckle. Now, if this is twisted just a little bit, it's supposed to be like that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a screwdriver, put it inside one, and kind of flex that up, and then use my hammer and tap this in. Now to line that up, we'll try and get that screwdriver in that port. Basically what I want to do is just use a screwdriver to line that up. Now I want to put some anti-seize compound on the bolt itself. Now that we have the upper bolt almost all the way through and it's not lining up with the bracket on the back, the next step you want to do is go ahead and put your jack underneath the knuckle. Now we went ahead and put our pole jack and we supported the knuckle and we moved it so that we could compress our suspension upwards. So you're going to use your jack and go ahead and lift that suspension up, and that bolt is going to start to line up. Go ahead and tap that bolt on through. When I get that nut started here. The next thing we need to do that we have the nut on here is we need to compress our suspension a little bit more to what we call a neutral ride height. And that is when you install the wheel and let the vehicle down on the ground, and it compresses the suspension to its natural ride height. We're going to use our jack to go ahead and replicate that so we can go ahead and tighten down our bolts. But we need to compress this, tighten and torque this, and tighten and torque the inward bolt before we can go ahead and release that jack. Let's go ahead and snug down that inward bolt. I'm just going to snug that, and then let's go ahead and snug down the outer bolt. Let's torque down that inner bolt to 42 foot-pounds. We're going to torque the upper outer bolt here to 48 foot-pounds. At this point here, you can go ahead and remove your jack. Go ahead and grab your wheel. Line that up on the studs. And ideally, you want to go ahead and get all of these started by hand. And then we'll come on back and snug them down. Let's go ahead and gently snug these down. I'm going to do this in a crisscross or a star pattern. You want to go ahead and torque down your lug nuts to 88 foot-pounds. Ideally, you want to do this in a crisscross or star pattern. And you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.